awesome to have you here. I am so excited because I always, and this sounds strange, but I always had a dream that there would be music, almost like the Rocky theme song type stuff, to help just encourage those with endometriosis fight their daily journeys. And you have made my dream come true unknowingly.
Well,
So
it's not, it's not just me. It's been a lot of people on this project, but no, I'm very happy to do it. I really do believe so much in the transformative and healing power of music. I think, it's true of many kinds of art, but music happens to be mine and, a lot of others. And music is one of the ways in which we literally transmute pain into joy and love, So to be able to centralize that so specifically on a project around raising awareness for endometriosis research and treatment is a dream for me.
it's amazing. And thank you for that. It is very healing to have music to really help encourage you along this really tough journey for so many. Can you tell us about the album, who's on it, when it's going to be released?
Absolutely. The record is called Warriors in reference to, this culture of endometriosis warriors, as they're so described. It's a compilation that we produced here at Holy Fang, my studio, of 15 acts, who are either, femme or femme-led groups. And they're all up and coming, exciting, contemporary acts. All of them are very good, stylistically quite diverse. And basically everybody was happy to participate in this project and, give music freely and just be a part of this thing. And, it looks like it's going to be the first of an annual series. We're already sketching out next year's and already starting to compile the artists for next year. And it's just going to keep snowballing from here, I think.
And there's an event coming up in July in the city, New York City, for those that might be in the tri-state area or even willing to travel to come. Can you tell us about that too?
Yes, the event is on July 21st, which is the same release date of the compilation record, which will be available wherever music is streamed and also on Bandcamp and all the various platforms where you go to find music. And the event is going to be at Nublu, which is a very cool venue in downtown Manhattan, which has mostly hosted jazz and hip hop and stuff over the years, but does all kinds of programming and is a really great venue. And we're going to have 3 of the acts that are on this year's compilation playing. Sorry Mom, Charlotte Rose Benjamin, and Power Violets, all of whom are fantastic. And we're going to have 2 acts who are going to be on next year's compilation playing. So the event kind of bridges, the first 2 installments in that respect.
So we talked about you wanting to do this for the Endo Warriors, hence the album's name. But why do you have a personal tie to endometriosis?
Right. Well, my company and studio, Holy Fang, I co-founded with my partner in business and in life, Bernadette Higgins, who does suffer from endometriosis and, luckily is a patient of Dr. Setchkin's, as of the last few years, after, over a decade of sort of, mistreatment or, lackadaisical treatment or misdiagnosis, took a long time to find the kind of treatment that would really help her, which is part of why we're so grateful for Setchkin and for the Endo Foundation and for all of that. But yeah, Bernadette, has suffered since she was 13. She has it pretty badly. She's in pain most days of the month. And it's been a long journey going through this with her, watching her go through this, going through passing, because Bernadette and I have been together since we were 20 years old and we knew each other for years prior to that. We knew each other as teenagers. So I have witnessed this process for her and watching it move through the first stage where it was being misdiagnosed and mishandled as a psychological malady, almost as like phantom invented pain, or like what, our old friend Dr. Freud would have called hysteria or something, you know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah, now we call it gaslighting.
Right, yeah, precisely.
Gaslighting.
Precisely. And then the second phase, which was just like gastro related and just diagnosing IBS, which you find out is basically a fancy way of saying we don't know what's going on with you. We found inflammation. And it was years of that and, surgeries and just mounting pain and suffering and discomfort. And then when Bernadette finally did get her endometriosis diagnosis, not from Dr. Setchkin, they told us to have a baby. They told us they would cure it. They told us all these things. And we had a baby in our early 20s, which wasn't exactly on our list of things we were planning on doing, but, certainly no regrets. She turned out to be my favorite person in the world. But, it's just interesting. 10 years later, I don't think that, or 8 years later, she's 8. I don't think doctors say that anymore. So
there are some that do, sadly, but they're
some,
not endometriosis specialists
yes,
that
yes,
anyone would
exactly.
want to be, taking advice from, put it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bernadette's suffering has been a large part of our shared life, and it's affected our not affected, but it's just been a part of everything that we've done. It's dictated like the pace at which we're able to go. It's dictated a lot of the decisions we've made in terms of our business. It's even dictated some of the paths we've taken in terms of who we've worked with and who we haven't, because like, as you alluded to earlier, there does continue to be a real epidemic of gaslighting women for their issues and for their health issues and stuff like that. And and people have been very kind and supportive, but I've really witnessed people be specifically very not kind and supportive toward Bernadette for her invisible disease. It's like, just because she's beautiful and like looks like and is professional and strong enough to hold it down and not show you how badly she's suffering, it's almost like hate, she's faking or hate her for being strong enough to not crumble or something. There's just so much aggression against women in society.
And it's like the microaggressions and then the bigger aggressions and yes, and the whole, I've had friends say to me, and again, I always say things are well intentioned and there's not a lot of knowledge out there, but when I had I think it was like my 3rd surgery, and one of my closest friends was like, "Hey, I don't get it. You already had surgery. Isn't this over? Like, why?" And she goes, "Why do you keep getting sick? Why are you getting sick?"
That's my mom.
Yeah, and it was so
I love you, Mom, by the way. Sorry, but that does continue to be my mom.
But that's sure. And I know my friend meant well by it, but I was like maybe 2 days post-op, and I felt like she was almost blaming me. And I was like, if I had the answer, I would tell you, I don't want this either. I have a brand new baby.
I mean, and I get that. I get that to some extent, as the person that has been in this role as a partner, that it can be hard for people to witness suffering, and especially to witness suffering like where there's no obvious solution. Like we as people, like most of us, like I think, like to solve problems. We don't like to sit in problems. And a lot of endometriosis and accepting endometriosis, and even accepting that like your partner has endometriosis, is accepting that you may be sitting with this problem for a while.
That was really well said.
Thanks. Well, I thought about it a lot, and but I just think that I think that sometimes the flip side of that sort of anxiety and the sort of fear of sort of staring into that particular void can cause people to be kind of cruel without necessarily meaning it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I hearing you speak, and obviously we're just speaking for the first time now, but not everyone in the community is so lucky to have partners that have the kind of communication and support and acceptance that you and your partner have. And I have heard really heartbreaking stories. I've endured my own that I really haven't shared, with an ex-partner who would really say to me, "Why can't you just be like a normal woman? Why is everything so hard for you? Like, I know normal women that pop out babies, but you can't have a baby." Like, it's hard, and those things kind of sit with you, and you realize, okay, this person is not my person, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry you dealt with that. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. I'm no saint, you know what I mean? Like, we're all human and we all have limitations to our patience, and it's like, and it's a work in progress. And can one of us get frustrated with the other? I mean, that's one of the other things about when chronic illness is in a relationship, is that like the sort of pace of life is at least partially dictated by the ebb and flow of the chronic illness. So you kind of just have to be prepared to not do what you thought you were going to do, or bring the energy down when you were like ready to ramp the energy up, and be okay with that, And it's not, like I said, like, we're all human. It's not always easy to be emotionally okay with that in the moment, so it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, no, and it's having that honesty and the trust with each other to be able to go through, like you said, the ups and the downs, the crescendos, because you could have, a perfect day and be like, oh, I feel great. I don't have endometriosis. I feel great. And then like 2 days
Yeah.
later, you're like in crippling pain going, oh my God, it really is a disease that never goes away. It's
And
like almost living in ignorance.
and you know what the saddest thing is? And it's like, it's not, and of course it's never to compare anybody's experience. Everybody's experience is equally valid, but it just highlights the sort of stages of this. Like when you talk about having a good day where you forget you have endometriosis, I don't think Bernadette's had one of those in 15 years,
Yeah.
literally. I haven't seen it, and I've been there for most of them.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
and this is why we are here,
Yes.
because we don't want, I mean, we say 1 in 10, but that number is probably exponentially larger because not everyone gets diagnosed. But when you think about being in a room with just 10 people and that one person having this kind of suffering and knowing what it feels like firsthand, and then here you are loving someone who has this and wanting to just take their pain away and feeling helpless, that is why we are trying to continue to raise awareness, to make sure that not only advocating for those that have it or might have it and be able to get checked out and get earlier interventions or the proper treatments, but hoping that the medical community at large pays attention. Maybe they're not endo specialists, maybe they're gynecologists, maybe they're researchers who might have not turned their attention to this, but hearing that this is how people are living their lives, and that yes, we are warriors, right? But I know for myself, I don't want to fight anymore. I just want to live. I want to live a joyful, happy, healthy life. I don't want to have to fight against my own body or be a warrior. So it's incredibly empowering to have people like you and the people that are on this album, the bands, the songwriters, the singers, who are taking their talents and using them so that they're warriors along with us, because it's a war and there's a lot of battles and it's good to have soldiers.
Right. Well, you said joy, and I think that's my biggest hope as far as bringing the music in.
Yeah.
And bringing these kind of young artists and these exciting, sort of developing talents, and just kind of like bringing the music in, is that we can bring some more joy into this process. Like we all know that life has pain, right? But life also has joy. So like, let's rock them both. You know what I mean?
Let's rock them both. I love
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Well, I am excited that we met. I'm excited that this project is happening. This album's coming out. The event is happening. All the information is below for anyone who can go, wants to go. Also, you can stream the music. You can download it, the album. And then hopefully you'll come back when the second one is about to be released.
Oh yeah, I think they're talking about an annual summer thing for this.
Love it. Yeah.
Very excited.
Let's do it. Let's rock and let's find the joy.
Very cool.
Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you.